The only way we can do this is to start thinking conceptually about our organization. So what we want to do is we want to ask ourselves, from the perspective of the organization and the people we interact with that aren't part of technology or security, what is it that they think and talk about? What are the ideas? What are the concepts? What are the elements? What are the things that they worry about and they talk about? Now, it turns out we've got a pretty simple list that we can come up with. They talk about business value. They talk about business value in terms of financial value and social impact. They talk about information, services, processes, fixtures and fittings, people, products, facilities, platforms, networks, applications, data, vehicles, and machinery. So these are concepts that already are top of mind to almost anybody in the organization, some more than others because of the nature of the role that they have. But if we're looking to define our organization as a system, and we're looking for what the essential parts of that system could be, then these are pretty good candidates for how we could think about what the essential elements of the system that is our organization could be. Now, let's look at security when it comes to those things. So I have arbitrarily defined what enterprise security, information security, and cybersecurity and physical security actually entail based on the intersection of the Venn diagrams of the way that those are generally done and what the scope of them is and how they fit into the enterprise and these core concepts. So if you look, there's a lot of overlap between information and cybersecurity because it is the majority of the infrastructure. Now, the cyber infrastructure also goes to IoT, vehicles, machinery, OT technology, those sorts of things. So we need to worry about that as well. It's not historically been part of information security. So this is a way that we can talk about what we do in security in the context of the organization that gives us some hooks that allow us to communicate outside of IT and security more effectively. So then how can we make these common concepts really work for us? Well, it turns out that we can define each of those concepts as a collection of things. And we can define these concepts as essential collections of things that are meaningful to the organization, that are useful for the business and other people to talk about, but also really important and useful for us to talk about. We're going to define each of these things a very special way, which is as a domain in SABSA. Now, just know for now that each of these boxes is special, and because it's not just a box, it's a box with rules. And because it's a box with rules, that gives us a lot of power and leverage when we're talking about security and coming back to showing what that confidence somebody needs is. So this is the enterprise and the way the enterprise interacts with the outside world in something that I call the Domain Impact Worksheet. The other thing you need to know about each one of these collections is that they can be subdivided as required to organize anything the organization cares about. And if it's not inside one of these boxes, then we can create a new top-level box for whatever that is. The other part about it is because what these boxes represent are the essential elements of the system of your organization. That means that within each of these boxes, there's a set of relationships, and between the enterprise domain and the external parties box and the public internet, there's also a set of relationships. When we map those out, we've got a set of internal relationships that is a generic model that I call the baseline enterprise perspective. And then we've got the external perspective, which talks about specific types of interactions that occur between the essential elements. These are powerful because it means that from an architecture perspective, we are starting with a predefined system, but it's not a fixed predefined system. It's an extensible predefined system, but it means we don't start from a blank sheet of paper and have to figure out what's really important in our organization.